What if I told you that the very type of intelligence you pride yourself on, the logical, analytical mind that solves problems step by step, is the very thing holding you back from true breakthrough and wealth? It's not a flaw in your effort or your ethics. It's a flaw in your neurological wiring, or more precisely, an over-reliance on just half of it. The human brain is physically divided into two hemispheres, left and right. And modern society, from its education systems to its corporate ladders, has systematically trained you to live and think almost exclusively from the left side. But here's the shocking truth. The individuals who shape industries, create monumental art, and build empires often operate from a completely different cognitive space. They've mastered the art of the right hemisphere. This isn't about being left-brained or right-brained as a fixed destiny. It's about understanding that you are currently running on a limited operating system, and the full, powerful software is waiting to be activated. The feeling of being stuck, of studying hard but not seeing transformative results, of working diligently but never achieving the wealth you envision. That's the symptom of a lopsided mind. Let's dissect the left hemisphere, the domain you're likely most familiar with. This is the seat of logic, linear reasoning, language, and analytical thought. It thrives on sequence, detail, and absolute correctness. It loves the formula. If A equals B and B equals C, then A must equal C. This hemisphere is responsible for the incredible technological and scientific advancements of our age. It builds the engines, writes the code, and balances the spreadsheets. The individual with a dominant left brain is often the brilliant engineer, the meticulous accountant, the sharp debater who can dismantle an argument by pointing out a single factual inconsistency. Their thinking is verbal and sequential. They need words to reason. Their strength is an unparalleled focus on the individual variable, the single data point. But this incredible strength conceals a catastrophic blind spot. The left hemisphere's obsession with the singular, correct path makes it vulnerable in a world that is not linear, but dynamic and interconnected. Life is not a straight line from A to Z. It's a complex, multivariable function where changing one parameter can unpredictably alter 100 others. The left-brain thinker, in their pursuit of perfecting one variable, can completely miss the collapse of the entire function. They can win every argument on technicalities, yet lose the entire relationship, the deal, or the strategic war. They become sensitive to linguistic precision. A misplaced word triggers them, but often remain numb to visual nuance, emotional subtext, and a broader pattern emerging from the chaos. They are masters of the tree, but frequently blind to the forest. Now, let's cross the great divide into the territory of the right hemisphere. This is the realm of synthesis, not analysis. It's the home of creativity, intuition, spatial awareness, and big-picture thinking. The right brain doesn't process information in a neat, sequential chain. It processes in bursts, in patterns, in holistic images. It's visual, not verbal. It's the part of you that can look at a complex problem and have a gut feeling about the solution long before you can logically justify it. It's the faculty that allows a great composer to hear a symphony before writing a note, or a visionary entrepreneur to see a market opportunity where others see only noise. This hemisphere is less concerned with the absolute correctness of a single fact and more concerned with a meaningful connection between disparate facts. It thinks and functions with many variables, not in isolated variables. This brings us to a profound and contradictory observation. Our institutions, schools, universities, many corporate training programs are essentially left-brain boot camps. They reward sequential learning, memorization of facts, and logical deduction. Yet when we look at the people who truly change the game, the innovators, the disruptors, the iconic leaders, we often find they exhibit strong right-brain characteristics. Many are even left-handed, a common, though not exclusive, physical correlate of right hemisphere dominance. This is the great paradox. We are trained for one game, but the highest rewards often go to those playing by a different set of cognitive rules. The logical mind is superb for executing within a defined system, but it is the creative, connective mind that designs new systems altogether. To move from theory to undeniable reality, consider two detailed examples. First, the world of technology. Take a world-class software engineer, a paragon of left-brain prowess. He can write flawless, optimized code. He can debug complex systems by following logical trails. His value is immense. But if his cognitive toolkit ends there, his ceiling is that of an exceptional executor. Now, contrast this with Steve Jobs. Jobs was not the greatest programmer or engineer in Apple's early days. His genius was a right hemisphere genius. He connected the dot between a calligraphy class he audited and the future of personal computer interfaces. He saw that technology alone was a sterile variable. Technology married to beautiful typography, intuitive design, and emotional appeal created an exponential function, a product people loved. He didn't just see the specs. He saw the story, the aesthetic, the human experience. He was a master of connecting variables others kept in separate boxes. Second, the arena of personal learning and skill acquisition. A student operating purely from the left hemisphere approaches a textbook like a manual. They study Chapter 1, then Chapter 2, then Chapter 3, memorizing definitions, formulas, and sequences. They excel on standardized tests that reward this linear recall. Their knowledge is like a well-organized filing cabinet. Now, observe a student who actively cultivates right-brain thinking. They don't just read the chapters. They create a mind map. They draw connections from a concept in biology to a recent economics article. They use metaphors, analogies, and visual sketches to represent abstract ideas. They're building a neural network, a web of knowledge. When faced with a real-world problem, this web allows for agile, creative problem-solving. They can traverse from one node of knowledge to a seemingly distant one, generating innovative solutions that the linear thinker, stuck in their file sequence, would never conceive. The first student accumulates data. The second student builds intelligence. The natural question, and the source of hope, is this: are we sentenced to the cognitive style we were born with or initially trained in? Absolutely not. The brain possesses a quality called neuroplasticity. It can rewire itself based on how we use it. You can consciously train your brain to strengthen the pathways of the right hemisphere. This is not about abandoning logic, but about building a bridge to integrate it with creativity. The first step is metacognition, becoming aware of your own thought patterns. Notice when you're slipping into purely analytical, critical, sequential mode. The second step is deliberate disruption. If your notes are always linear text, force yourself to diagram the next lecture using only images and connecting arrows. If you always solve problems with pro-con lists, try closing your eyes and visualizing the outcome of each choice as a vivid scene in a movie. What does each path feel like? Cultivate the habit of visualization. Before analyzing a business report with numbers, try to sketch the market landscape as a literal landscape. Who are the mountains, the rivers, the predators? Practice trusting your intuition in low-stakes environments. When choosing between two movies or two restaurants, go with your immediate gut feeling and reflect later on why it might have been right. Engage in activities that are inherently right-brained: drawing, free writing, playing music, or even certain video games that require spatial strategy. You're not trying to become illogical. You're trying to give your logic a powerful partner. You are teaching your left hemisphere's precise data to dance with your right hemisphere's intuitive patterns. This neurological integration revolutionizes the very concept of self-directed learning. Autodidacticism ceases to be a passive act of consumption. It transforms into an active, creative process of construction and connection. Every new piece of information is not a brick to be stacked in a wall, but a new node to be woven into a vast, personal web. Your goal shifts from "how much can I remember" to "how many novel connections can I make?" This is why two people can study the same material, and one becomes a knowledgeable expert while the other becomes a groundbreaking thinker. The thinker has built a richer, more interconnected web. They see relationships where others see isolated facts. This is the genesis of true innovation, the ability to connect the unconnected. Therefore, the ultimate skill for the future isn't just learning faster. It's learning differently. It's developing what we might call connective intelligence. The next time you sit down to learn a new skill, tackle a project, or face a strategic decision, pause. Ask yourself this diagnostic question: which hemisphere is driving right now? If it's the left, pushing for lists, sequence, and criticism, intentionally engage the right. Mandate a brainstorming session with no judgment allowed. Draw a picture of the problem. Tell a story about the solution. If you're naturally right-brained and feeling scattered, consciously engage the left to structure your brilliant insights, to build a project plan, to test your intuition with data. The pinnacle of human cognitive performance is not left or right. It is whole-brain thinking. It's using the right hemisphere to generate the groundbreaking function and the left hemisphere to solve for the critical variables within it. It's the synergy that turns knowledge into wisdom, skill into art, and effort into legacy. Stop letting half your brain run your whole life. It's time to power up the other half and unleash the full, creative, logical, and unstoppable capacity of your mind.